Warning. The Outsider's Edge contains strong opinions, unconventional views, and contrarian stances. Listen, if you dare.
Hey, yo!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the only podcast that poopity scoops, scoopty whoops, the Outsider's Edge. It's your boy Ray Cash, aka Rance. I'm always with my boy Karl, the King, aka. What's going on, brother?
Nothing. What did you just say? Poopity poop, scoopty whoop.
It's the newest, hottest thing that from Kanye West. It's the new.
Was it from his interview or something?
No, actually, he released a song
Okay.
called "Lift Yourself."
All right.
And the whole song is a sample for like 2 minutes. And as the sample's heating up, he's like, I'm about to hit him with the coldest verse ever. The cold is coming. I'm about to kill him. And then he hits with the poopity scoop, scoopty whoop, scoopity poopity doop. It's hilarious. It is the funniest thing in the world to me ever.
I'm waiting on your thesis about Kanye. We talked about that off air.
Do you want to do that? We could talk that because look. So for you guys listening, Karl and I have spent 30 minutes trying to figure out what they'll talk about. The reason we spent that long is because we do not want to talk Greatest Royal Rumble anymore. We're sick of it.
Yeah, tired of it.
Over it.
Like glorified house show with a bunch of controversy. Done.
The biggest house show in history.
Yeah.
So, I'm down for an hour and a half of Kanye talk.
I don't want to talk about Kanye West.
Oh, okay.
I just was wondering what the hell that was. And you said you could write a thesis on him, so I'm waiting on that. That's your assignment for next week. Have your thesis ready on Kanye, so we could discuss ad nauseum.
Dog, I'm telling you, I could write a 20-page dissertation on Kanye West.
And we'll just play College Dropout in the background the whole podcast.
The old Kanye, right?
Yeah, well, the only good one.
Well, if you listen closely, he was sending us some messages, though. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
but yes, we did not get on here to talk about Kanye West, unless y'all want to. We got some wrestling to talk about, so we have to at least acknowledge the Greatest Royal Rumble. So, what did you think of it?
I told you I gave it about 3 stars.
Out
of 5, yeah.
The whole show.
The whole show.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought a couple things I liked about it. Nobody pulled double duty. Thought that was cool.
Yes.
The Royal Rumble.
People, that's impressive.
Yeah, I know. The Royal Rumble was good. It was cool. It was all right. I enjoyed that. The right winner, in my opinion, made Daniel Bryan look great. He looked great the whole time. The right guy threw him out too. So I like the Royal Rumble. I think they did that part well. I enjoyed the casket match, and that's kind of what I told you. The last 3 matches on the card, which were the title, the Universal, the casket, and the Greatest Royal Rumble, which casket came first. But anyway, I thought that really helped it because before that, I was probably sitting on like 2 stars. Even though Cena and Triple H had a good match, I didn't really care about it. And that's me. I'm not invested. I don't care. And then and then everything else that happened, all the results were like, because I kind of thought the way they presented it, we might see a title change or something. But they did give us new tag team champions, but that had to happen.
They were vacant, yes. So
yeah.
Don't count.
But I did like one thing. I will say I did like the ladder match, mostly the ending sequence. I thought that was really creative. So they did some good creative stuff throughout, I guess, but for the most part,
So when you say the last 3 matches, I would say the last 5. Because the ladder match was really good. Might be the best actual match of the card. Shinsuke and AJ was really good. It's just it had a really terrible finish. And
I didn't care for the finish. That soured me. It's kind of,
Absolutely. And then the casket match was fun. Roman and Brock was actually enjoyable, and I love the finish personally. And then the Greatest Royal Rumble match was definitely fun. Like I watched it with my grandma,
Yeah.
and we had a blast. So
Yeah, that was fun, and they spaced it. The pacing of the show overall was really good.
yeah,
I have to give them that. Like they paced everything really nicely. I mean, bringing people in and out of the Rumble, like counting people down and stuff. It never felt tedious.
yes.
So I mean, I will give them that. But you know, it really just kind of felt like, and I get it. You know, like for Saudi Arabia, they're trying to do like it's a test run. You know, but I really felt like they were gonna run, and I hate to say this, but I felt like they were really gonna like advance more stories. I didn't think they really did that. They did a little with AJ and Nakamura. Double countout's kind of a cheap way to do it, but they did it.
But it led to another Q match, so yeah, that's a big progression.
So that was a story advancement. The Roman and Brock thing, I don't know that it's over, but for now, put it on pause, right? So that almost felt like a definitive closing of that for now.
I would agree with you, yeah.
The Royal Rumble was really just a, hey, Braun's the man kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, he's bringing the trophy out with him or whatever, but so I don't know, like, it was, like I said before, and as you said before, biggest house show of all time, right? That's basically what it was, is send everybody home happy. There's no way Big Cass was going to win that Greatest Royal Rumble. You know what I mean? It was the way they did it, you know, that's really all I can say about it. I've been saying a lot more than I would have wanted to say, but that's pretty much
It's one of those situations where we built ourselves up again.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people were saying, well, they advertised so much, so they wanted it was supposed to mean something. No. If anybody does anything, you're going to advertise it.
Right.
They spent all that money on that show. They wanted people to watch it. That didn't mean that it was going to be WrestleMania.
Right.
You know?
Well, yeah, no, I do. I just feel, you know, you get that.
It's disappointing, definitely, but
because of the way the work they put into it. And like, we are so used to like that work they put in for us that we weren't really thinking that, you know, this is basically just for Saudi Arabia. I mean, they wanted us to watch it, but that show wasn't really for anyone else but them.
Absolutely.
I mean, and so I think we were probably thinking in our heads, okay, well, this is for all of us. You know, it's a step for Saudi Arabia, but it's for us too. You know, And in reality, that's because they went through all the work. They made the nice stage. They made the nice, you know, everything looked great.
Brought the pyro back.
Yeah, they did they went all out. Yeah. So, that's all good though. You know, I mean, when you go from Mania to Greatest Royal Rumble 3 weeks later, and then now you're turning around and you've got Backlash. There's been a lot of, I'm ready for Backlash to come and go because it's very like, I'm starting to get over you know what I mean?
Throw the Superstar Shakeup in there. I know it's not a pay-per-view, but it's a significant
big
event
deal
on the timeline. So yeah. It's been a lot this past week.
And I'm just kind of hangover a little bit. I need a break. I need a good 3 or 4 weeks in there where I don't know when the next pay-per-view is after Backlash, but
I believe it's June.
Okay.
And it's Money in the Bank. So we've
got a lot.
We got about 4 or 5 weeks to build to that.
Yeah.
So and that's refreshing because now like another match that you another feud, I guess you could say, that was furthered by what happened at the Greatest Royal Rumble was Finn and Seth. I know they had their match Monday, but I just don't see that being the end of their quarrel.
I don't either.
Yeah. But that match was furthered. Well, that feud was furthered because Finn had the match won, and Seth pulled some Spider-Man, Peter Parker type stuff.
He did.
And which was one of the greatest finishes of a ladder match I've ever seen, by the way.
Yeah, it was great.
I feel like Seth Rollins had a Ricochet mask on. You know?
Well, we got Seth Rollins can move now.
I know, man. Yeah.
He's no slouch. Like he's making a case. He could be the best overall performer in the company right now. He can make a case for him. That's what I'm saying. I think you could make an argument. I don't know that I would go that far, but I think the argument is there. At the very least, he's getting closer because he's like on another level right now.
Okay.
Seth is.
Well, let's do this real quick. Give me your top 5 in the company.
Like performers, like we're just talking like
Performers.
in-ring abilities.
Performers, yeah.
So I would still say
And you can
AJ.
include the women, and you can include NXT if you want to, and 205.
Yeah, I would still say AJ Styles is the number one guy.
Okay.
And then I would say Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. I'll probably put Tommaso Ciampa in there.
Over
But
Gargano.
my order is.
I
don't
know
have a
there's
straight
no.
order.
I know I'm not saying in order, but I doubt Gargano's gonna be in your top 5.
No, he's not. It's nothing
He's a better
against him.
performer.
He's a.
Ciampa's just
to
a better
me,
heel.
To me, that's why I think he's a better performer.
Okay.
Because I mean, I know this is going to sound weird. To me, it's more difficult to be the shithead heel or the bad guy than it is to be the good guy. Because bad guys are more complex. Good guys are, I'm the good guy. Like, we get it. Everyone loves you. Like, okay.
Yeah.
That's why John Cena isn't interesting anymore. Because
Well, John Cena hasn't changed anything about him in like 10 years.
that's true. And I like Gargano. I'm not hating on him. But I'm thinking like overall package deal, like in terms of just all of it. I just think Ciampa's.
I'm not arguing with you on Ciampa. It's just shocking to me because
Gargano would be in my top 10.
Okay.
I don't know if he'd be in my top 5.
Okay.
So Styles, Rollins, Ciampa. I'm still putting Roman Reigns in there.
I would too.
And I would probably put Samoa Joe right now.
No women in your top 5.
I don't think so. I think Charlotte would be the closest. She'd be in my top 10. I'm trying to think if there's any other. I do really like right now. I like the Iconics, but they haven't. I want to see. They were great in NXT. I want to see how they've been great so far. I want to see how that carries before I would put them there.
Well, maybe we're defining the word performance different because as much as I love Billy and Peyton, but they are average at best in the ring.
Right. Well, if you're just going strictly off in ring, I mean, then that changes.
It's however you want to put it.
Right.
Well, and to kind of retort to the whole heel face thing, I don't know where you're coming from with that thought process because it's much harder to be a face, in my opinion, especially in this day and age, where it's harder. People don't like nice guys, like
right.
You know, people don't like somebody being nice. So if you just come out to the ring and want to slap hands with fans, they ain't gonna rock with you. Gargano was a babyface.
Go ahead.
Gargano, and please retort to this, but the reason Gargano was a babyface, and he's such a babyface, the same with Zayn before him and Bryan before them, isn't because of anything they've done in the main roster. It's because of their entire story. People have followed them for 15 years. They're smaller. They shouldn't be where they're at because of their size and because of where they came from. They don't have necessarily the best or the traditional wrestling looks, you know, and that's what makes them baby faces. Nothing they do in the screen makes them baby faces because, if we're honest, Bryan does heel stuff all the time.
Oh yeah. Well, see, I wouldn't say that the ring anything in the. I would agree with you on that last point, but what I would say is that it's not. I'm not saying it's easy to be a babyface necessarily, as much as it's like nowadays there's really only pretty much one type of guy who can be a babyface, and it's the underdog looking dude. And so if you look like Gargano, who's how tall is he? Like I don't even know, 5'10",
5'9",
something like that. If you look like him, or if you look like Daniel Bryan, who's 5'11". Sami Zayn to some extent, he's taller, but he doesn't look like you said. He doesn't have this look. Then it's almost like I'm not saying you still got to go out there and make it happen, but you have a much better chance. Like if they try to make Roman, they want Roman. Like for a while, they wanted Roman to be the big baby face. Right? That was their thing, but it's not working now.
But it's not working because the crowd has convinced themselves they don't want to like him because the company wants him to be in a situation.
Well, that's what I'm.
It has nothing to do with what he's doing. It has nothing to do with what he does in the ring, on the mic, in the arena. It's strictly and 100% based from backstage.
But what I'm saying is, with faces, I don't feel like they have to be as creative because if you are an underdog type, you're probably going to get over. Like that's just kind of been the way it is with the baby faces, especially guys like Zayn, Bryan, and Gargano are perfect examples of 3 guys who basically are over because they're billed as underdogs. I mean, a lot of these guys that are heels, you know, like I would say it's difficult for a heel to get real heel heat too. Like if you talk about, I mean, some guys like Kevin Owens is a heel. He's been a heel forever. They love him until he does something really bad.
Okay.
When he, beats the shit out of Daniel Bryan or
I see what
Ciampa
you're
the
saying.
same.
So your point, I think, in large, I agree with that. I feel like the scale is skewed because, yes, there is a type that fans want to see as babyface, and it feels like they'll cheer that babyface as long as they meet that criteria. No matter what else they do, as long as it feels like that, it does. And it also feels like it's hard for heels to be real heels because fans are gonna start liking them. But the major disagreement I have with that is fans don't want to be real heels. Kevin Owens doesn't want to be a real heel because if he wanted to be a real heel, he wouldn't do all the babyface moves he does. His entire moveset is a babyface.
Right.
Tommaso Ciampa's moveset literally is punch you in the face, kick you, punch you in the face, kick you.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Tommaso Ciampa has the reason he's so refreshing is that he has literally done everything out of his way to say the first thing that made him genius to me about what he was doing was he came out with the shirt that looked awesome and he said, I ain't selling this shit because I don't like y'all.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Kevin Owens got like 7 shirts on shop.com.
Right.
And I realize that's out of his control, but you know what I'm saying? And Kevin Owens is amazing. We did the Total Package series the last time I think it was 2 years ago, and he was number 2 on our list. So this isn't a knock on Kevin Owens. But people nowadays, Adam Cole is the biggest offender of all of them. Adam Cole probably your biggest heel, but you can't be your biggest heel and you have a chant with the crowd. It doesn't work.
Adam Cole, baby, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now, granted, he's doing great work, but is it heel work or is it antagonist work? Because there is a difference.
No, I agree. I just think it's because, and the thing is, like, if you come in with like a guy like Adam Cole or Kevin Owens, especially, I don't know much about Tommaso back before NXT, so I can't speak to all that shit. But like Owens and Adam Cole, and some of these other guys, they come in and the people that know about them, they automatically love them. And now that the crowd is getting more, I don't know what the right word is, but smart.
Indie-centric.
Yeah, like, I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of, this is where you talked about this before, like, the dynamic of heel and face has completely changed now, except for like a handful of guys. I mean, most of them are just being themselves, just amped up a little bit. Like, there really isn't like a true heel and baby face except for just a handful of people. You know what I mean? And even then, with those handful, you could flip them at the drop of a hat, probably, if you wanted to.
Braun Strowman being your best example.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't take hardly anything. But like a guy like Samoa Joe right now, he's a fucking heel. But like, Samoa Joe is universally loved out there. No matter what, he could do no wrong right now because he's probably feuding with Roman. But you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like
Pete Dunne,
yeah.
What has he done different as a babyface? But get beat up.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same guy. So the whole, like you said, the whole dynamic has changed. Just for me personally, as someone who prefers heels, because while you may say it's harder to get the babyface reaction, you might be right about that.
A real babyface reaction, yes,
right?
A genuine one.
But we both know that both sides of that is difficult. The heel side and the face side.
Yes. But
yeah, like I think that I agree with your overall point about it being just completely changed dynamic now. And I feel like heels are more complex. And so that's why, and I think you would find that if you go in comics, right? Yeah. Like, the Joker, for instance, right? He's so fucking complex. Like, nobody, like.
We just talked about you're going to go see Infinity War tomorrow, probably.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Yeah.
I've seen it. Thanos is one of the most complex villains we've ever seen because he truly thinks what he's doing is right. And if you really go down to the nitty gritty of his point, he's absolutely right how he goes about it. Killmonger, Vulture, Joker, yes, they are complex, layered individuals. And then Batman is, as much as he's my favorite superhero, guy with daddy issues.
Yeah, and a lot of money to buy gadgets and beat people up.
As Ben Affleck said very famously when he said, "What's your superpower?" I'm rich.
Yeah, I'm rich. So, I don't know. That's a good conversation. We didn't have anything to talk about it. We changed everything real quick.
It
That's
doesn't
how
take
we
much
do
for
it.
us. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, just
No.
experts, professionals.
So yeah, that's good though. That's good.
So we're gonna go to some rapid fire after we do a Backlash preview. But before we get there, so we can finally put a full cap end on the Greatest Royal Rumble and move on and be done with it. Dog, was Titus O'Neil's fall not the greatest thing that's ever happened in wrestling?
It was great. I wish they had caught it as it happened. You know
That
what I
makes it
mean?
better to me.
Okay.
Because that shows me that it was real.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. I would have been great to have just seen it because like as it happened.
Yeah.
And I love Titus too. He's such a good sport. Like, of course he's probably gonna make a ton of money off that shirt.
I'm gonna buy the shirt, so it's gonna
Me
make us a
too.
ton of money.
And so yeah, like he's a good sport about it. I like and everyone like he has the best moment of the night at the biggest show. I mean, at this big show that they're touting, like I can just envision Vince in the background being like, "Play this again, play this again, play this
That's
again."
exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's what
That's
I'm
why I
saying.
kept playing it because Vince was laughing so hard. He was like, "You got to keep showing that."
So Vince, I mean, Titus O'Neil is going to dethrone Brock Lesnar. Colin, you heard it here first.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna move on from that. I don't have it's not often you leave me speechless. I don't have a response to that. I don't. Okay. All right. Titus is gonna beat Brock, and Apollo's gonna get jealous. Titus versus Apollo at WrestleMania 35 for the championship. Titus Worldwide explodes.
Yeah, I like it.
O'Neil Apollo, Ryder Mojo. That's your marquee.
And at the end, the winner picks up Dana Brooke and puts her on their shoulders and walks around with her.
Oh man. Just on a quick tangent, real quick. I don't know if you watched Ride Along, but the last Ride Along had Titus, Apollo, and Dana in it, and Dana was driving. And I love the fact that they're really friends in real life because like they were going from Buffalo to Cleveland, and Dana's from Cleveland,
Yeah.
and so they apparently Dana's mom was supposed to cook a casserole, and he was like, "Did your mama cook that dry ass casserole for us?" And she was like, "Stop talking about my mama." He was like, "Call your mama real quick." So they call her and they're talking. He's like, I forgot her name. Let's just call him Miss Brooke, whatever it is. And she's like,
Right.
"Hey Titus, how you been? It's been a while." Like they really have a relationship. And he was like, "Well, we're driving. You know how your daughter is. So you got that dry ass casserole in the oven or what?" And she was like, "Don't talk about my food." But yeah, it was
That
right
was
along
the
like
same one.
those
Did they have
guys.
that was the same one with Braun and Alexa? Is that the same one that had
Yeah.
Braun and Alexa on it as
Yes.
well? See, I haven't watched that
Yes.
yet, but I want to. I want to go back and watch those.
The whole time I'm thinking Murphy is pissed.
Yeah, Murphy's not having a good day. He's on
Braun
205 Live, can't make weight. Like, poor guy. Losing his wife.
Dog.
Are they married? Or are they fiancés still?
They're engaged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in trouble.
Yeah, probably because Murphy. If they don't get married soon and he doesn't get his visa set straight and stuff like that, he could be back to the land down under, and Braun gonna get those hands. If you know what I mean. All right, man. So Backlash, right?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not super excited for the card,
Me
but there
either.
are some matches I'm excited about. So I'm gonna start from the bottom. I always do championship matches last.
Yeah.
So we got Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Two questions here.
Yeah.
Number one, with Braun winning the Greatest Royal Rumble and the company kind of submitting that, yeah, we behind this dude, right? Like that, there's no you win that spot, and that's it in that area with all that fanfare and all that stuff, and the company don't say, look, man, you're one of the guys.
Yeah.
First question is, one, do you think they're priming him to become the next champ? And number two, do you think him and Lashley are going to feud?
Okay, so yes and yes to both. I just don't know how they're going to go about it because here's the thing about Braun. You bring Lashley in, Does it seem feasible for Lashley to like turn on Braun as soon as he walks in the door? I don't know. I don't know that it's a wise idea right now with how popular Braun is to just who kind of like organically became this guy that everyone loved. You know what I mean? Like he went from heel to face kind of without them ever having to actually like make it official. Yeah. So I don't know if it would be wise to have Braun turn his back on Lashley for a feud, unless you're going to do like I don't know, they lose the match, which I don't know, but let's say they were to lose the match somehow and there's an argument, whatever, and you could have that whole thing. But I do think they're going to feud at some point. I don't think they put them together randomly.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But at the same time, I also kind of have a feeling that I could be wrong and say that maybe Lashley's the one that's being primed, and Lashley could come in, feud with Braun, get a big win over Braun, who just won the Greatest Royal Rumble and all this other stuff and never gets beat, really, especially in singles matches, unless your name's Kalisto or Roman Reigns. And, yeah, no. Right? Think about that. And but I think that could be the other way. There's two ways they're going here. I really feel like one of these two is being primed to be the next champ. I think it's Braun. Maybe that Greatest Royal Rumble championship was well, it's not you, it's Bobby Lashley, but hey, here's this pretty green belt. So to answer your question, yes and yes. I'm just not sure. Yeah, not sure how exactly. But I think Lashley is also being primed to be in that mix. So I think, yeah.
Well, Lashley definitely is going to be a big top star.
Yeah, I worry about Lashley already a little bit because I don't feel like he's getting much of a reaction.
I think it's perfect because he doesn't need to yet because he hasn't shown his cards.
Yeah, that's true. He hasn't really done
anything. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't shown his cards. I think that's by design because I think that the ultimate goal for Lashley is to be heel.
I mean, I think that's the right way to go.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
We know Brock must farm. You know, Cena must pose and Brock must farm.
He must.
So on a regular basis, every Monday basis, tell me right now, and don't give me this Roman Reigns bullshit. Tell me the top heel on Raw.
Who's the top heel on Raw right now? If I had to pick someone right now to be that you would consider the top heel, I'd probably say Elias. And that's not like he's not really doing much, but I'd probably say Elias.
So the top heel and the only other person that you could put in that category would be Jinder. So basically, your top heel or Baron. Your top heels are mid-carders. Somebody got to turn. Somebody got to turn. So I just feel like that's why Lashley hasn't done anything.
Unless you think Kevin and Sammy are the top heels, which I don't know about that either.
Well, they could be. You can consider them that, but they're not. They might be top. They could be a part of a top act, but there has to be one singular top heel, and there isn't one right now. And maybe they do split Sammy and Kevin up a little bit and have them start doing more single stuff. But I feel like there's more of a story to tell with them being a tandem.
Right.
But anyway, one of those two guys, they're too big, and they're not gonna run for the tag team. I don't see them trying to do that.
No.
I see Lashley really turning on Braun, and the reason I see him turning on Braun is because of this. And this is, of course, storyline. When Lashley got hired, his goal was Brock, right?
Yeah.
Brock don't come to work. So
true.
It's the truth. So
Brock must farm.
Brock must farm. His mindset is, if I'm Lashley, is, all right, well, I got to get to Brock because I want the title. I want to be Brock. Brock is actually the main reason I resigned. Who are my biggest competition to go get Brock? Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman. Let me take one out.
And Roman can't beat Brock anyway, so I'm
not worried about Roman. Absolutely. So let me take out Braun. How can I take out Braun when he's bigger and almost arguably bigger, stronger, and arguably faster than me? I'm going to become his friend.
Yeah.
I'm going to take him out when he's not paying attention.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think it could. That's why I think that's the best way to go.
Yeah.
I don't think you can turn Braun back heel. Not right now.
No.
What he has done for himself is right now. You can't take that away from him. Can't sweep that out from under him. I don't think it'd be a good idea to kneecap him right now.
Can I give you a hot take?
Yeah.
I feel like Braun is on his way to Undertaker level.
You think so, huh?
I mean, granted, when I say Undertaker level, I don't mean like historically. I mean like
Right.
that spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm not saying he's going to be the conscience of the company in 30 years and, the leader. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, you know what I mean? Like, he's going to be the top big guy in the company who's going to be a major part of everything he's in for the next 10 years. I feel like he's on his way.
Yeah, I could see that. And with that, the good thing about being in that position, the Undertaker's was very much like this. He wasn't champion that much. Because he didn't need to be. Undertaker was never really. I mean, I think he won
4, I believe.
4 WWE championships.
I want to say 4 title reigns, I believe.
Not that much if you consider how long he was there.
And he was around in the era of inflation. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, so Braun at the same time, you could have Braun in that position. He's going to win he's going to win the championship at some point. That's going to happen. We just don't know when. But yeah, I'm with you. I could see that.
Well, so we gotta pick a winner. Who's gonna win?
Yeah. I'm gonna pick Sammy and Kevin. I think the turn could go ahead and come quick.
See, so I picked Braun. I've already done my picks on another show. So
yeah.
I want to be consistent. I thought about picking a Sammy and Kevin because I thought the Lashley turn might happen here. I don't feel it's time yet.
It might not be, yeah. We don't know when Brock's coming back, so that's
that's the key. Now, there's rumors that Brock's going to work Money in the Bank because they're trying to make Money in the Bank a big 5 instead of a big 4.
Right.
And then there's Extreme Rules between that and SummerSlam. It might be another show, but I know it's for sure Extreme Rules in July. But I don't feel like it happens yet. So maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I'm picking Braun and Lashley here just because it just makes more sense right now.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I'm so glad we finally picked something different.
Well, I'm only saying one reason I would say Sammy and Kevin, and this is just, it is what it is. I think maybe it might be a little bit of, not 50-50 booking per se, but more of like they got here, and so far, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have basically just been getting beat up, and I don't feel like that's going to hold. So that's why I think you can do both. You can have your heel turn, and you can have Kevin and Sami get one over and get a win.
But that's the only. No offense to Kevin and Sami because they're some of the best the company has to offer.
Yeah.
But they should not be beating Braun and Lashley.
No, I agree, unless Lashley turns. That's the only way.
Unless something happens.
Yeah. So I think that'll happen. So I think they'll also kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Kevin and Sami get a big win, but it's all obviously cheap because that's what they're doing. So,
speaking of people who should not be beating people,
yeah,
we got Daniel Bryan and Big Cass. I'm gonna let you think which one is which. So the promo this week wasn't bad until he brought out the midget.
Yeah, that was
then
stupid.
It jumped the shark. So what are you thinking? What are you thinking about the feud so far? Who do you think is gonna win?
Well, the feud is fine. I really liked when Cass first came back. They started it well. Like he came back. The story here is basically Cass is playing it as he doesn't like people that are short and little. And that might be part of it, but the real story here is Cass is jealous because
that's the story. Yeah,
they got cleared on the same day, and only people talked about was Daniel Bryan. That's his real motivation here. So he wants to take out Daniel Bryan.
Sure.
And we all kind of thought maybe he might be aligned with The Miz in some way. It doesn't seem to be the case. He's kind of doing it on his own. So I think the story is good. I think the promo he cut on Miz TV was really good.
Excellent.
I was very proud of him. I thought it was a really good promo. Like you said, this segment this week, it got cringy. Once you start doing that stuff, that reminded me of like 1997. Bret Hart just left. DX brings out the midget Bret Hart to make fun of him in the middle of the ring. Like, just stuff. It's just like I don't think we should. This to me, this is kind of worse, really, because at least those guys were like huge, and Big Cass is kind of trying to find his way, and you kind of I hate using this term, but you kind of cut him off at the knees a little bit because you made him say all this dumb shit, you know?
Yep.
And it would have been better if he didn't even beat up the midget. I thought, like, if you're going to use that, he shouldn't have beat him up because it's like he was making fun of him. You know,
he had
like,
to beat him up. He had to beat him up.
The whole thing is just.
He had to beat him up because he's supposed to be a dick, a condescending dick. He had to beat him up.
And I also didn't like the fact that Daniel Bryan wasn't there this week. And the reason why I say that is because Bryan really hasn't got. Yeah, he hasn't. One thing I like about feuds, and this is a short feud because of the way it's been between Mania and Backlash and all that. It's kind of a short. It's been kind of condensed into 3 weeks basically. Mm-hmm. But Cass has gotten over Bryan pretty much every time. So he jumped him in the back. He jumped him in the match. I can't remember the match now, but that tag team match I think it was.
It was Rusev Day versus him and
Styles.
AJ. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the
first one, and then the next week it was jumping him in the back on Miz TV before Miz TV.
And the promo, yeah.
And this week, Bryan's not there due to a chest infection or whatever. So Bryan hasn't won. Bryan's just been doing nothing. So I kind of feel like I think Daniel Bryan's going to win the match.
But
I'd be surprised if Cass won. I really would.
Does Bryan have to do anything?
No, he does.
Let me explain that question. In this feud, there's a known commodity and there's an unknown commodity.
Yeah.
Okay. Bryan is the most known commodity in the company almost to this point, right? We know who he is. We know what he's about. We know his kid. We know his wife. We know his parents. We know where he's from. We know what he believes in. His chants. We can probably tell you what he ate for dinner. We know about Daniel Bryan. The truth. We don't know what Big Cass is. The one thing we knew about Big Cass was, and I forgive the pun, was that he's 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that. That's the one thing we have been taught for 2 years. And it's funny, but it's the truth. So now, Cass is trying to add all these extra layers. That, one, that, the jealousy about him coming back on the same day, which is true, and Bryan this and that, which turned it into, well, you're smaller than me. So one, why do people care about you more than me? And then on top of that, you're smaller. Then that's turned into, I'm from New York, so I'm automatically better than you because I'm from New York. All these extra layers, right? Bryan doesn't have to do anything in this feud because Cass has jumped him, Cass has downed him, Cass has taken away his big moment, Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
There's nothing Bryan needs to do in the build up to this. I don't think. Cass
maybe
is the one who
maybe
has
not,
to prove
but the
it.
problem is, I feel like you just got this guy back. I'm not saying you overuse him in the ring. I'm not saying make him wrestle every week because I don't want him to do that.
Yeah.
But you just got him back. Like even if he comes out there to try and fight off Cass and doesn't get the better of him, I just feel like you want to use him because like right now with him, especially with him being the way he is, and everyone loves him. I think fans are probably paying money to see Daniel Bryan on SmackDown Live.
So make him pay. Make him pay. Make him pay for the pay-per-view.
Well, they did pay, and he wasn't there.
Well, he was there. He was in the dark match.
What's what I'm saying? Well, he wasn't there. He might have wrestled a dark match or something afterwards. I don't know.
Wink. He didn't just wrestle a dark match. He wrestled Shinsuke Nakamura in the dark match.
Oh, yeah. They had to wait for 205 Live. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, like, they got their money's worth if you stayed. But they got their money's worth. But what this is telling me is that this is not a one-off feud. This ain't going to end Sunday. We got more to go. That's what this is telling me. Because, to your point, if this was going to be a one-off, Bryan would have been involved more. But he's not. That tells me that there's more to the story, which is why I think you said you think Bryan's winning. Big Cass is going to win this match. They have to build Cass to be legit. Right? We know Bryan can beat every single person in this company, sans Brock, and maybe he can, but Brock is Brock. Right? But he can beat everybody in this company, not only in reality because he's a legitimate MMA dude, but in kayfabe. Because he's beat everybody. Yeah. Right? If he hasn't beat everybody, he's come very close to beating everybody. So we know that. Right? Cass is the one got to prove this. The onus of everything in this situation is on Colin Cassidy right now. So, if you beat him in this spot after he's gotten over and over and over and over, you kind of, to use your phrase, cutting him down at the knees.
Here's the problem with that, though. Is he just going to beat him clean?
I wouldn't say it's good. So, okay.
Because
so,
if he doesn't beat him clean, then it's still not legitimate because he's 7 feet tall and Daniel Bryan's a midget. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's a heel, and nobody cares about that when it's heel.
I understand that, but I feel like if you're trying to present him as legitimate, like actually legitimate, then I don't think him cheating to beat a guy that's half his size is really like the best way to go about that.
It's the package. It's the package. He has to believe it's legitimate, right? Because
he already does believe he's legitimate, though. He says it every time he comes out there.
But he has no proof. Okay, let me flip it. The Iconics and Asuka. Mm-hmm. We know in no world, maybe in Earth 2316, they can beat Asuka, but there's no way in any of the other ones. But they beat her. They pinned Becky, and they have a victory over Asuka. So they will say that until they have no breath in their body. So while they believe they're legitimate, even if we all know you didn't beat her, you cannot take away from them. They have a victory over Asuka. Right?
That's true, yeah.
So with Cass, the difference is we're talking a lot longer about Cass than I thought we would.
It's interesting. A lot of people don't want to talk about Cass because they're ready to write him off already because he's this and he's that. So you know what? Fuck that. We can defend him. We can talk about him.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we're here. That's what we do here.
Yes.
We defend people everyone hates. So. And shit on people everyone loves.
Is that who we've become?
I guess so.
Well, no, it's not who we've become. We've been doing this for like 6 years, so it's who we've always been.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
But
go ahead.
The thing with Cass is a lot of that jealousy doesn't just stem from the fact that he wasn't loved like Bryan was. It doesn't just stem from the fact that but a lot of it stems from not only just that Bryan is smaller, but Bryan's better.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. So now, granted, I do think Cass will have not a dominant victory, but a fairly clean victory. Not a squash, but like a clean victory. Like he ain't gonna hit him in the head with no chair and no shit like that. But you know.
Right.
But then when he comes out and he says, "I beat Daniel Bryan," nobody can say anything to him. You have to boo because you know what, he kind of did. But Bryan will definitely get his comeuppance in some form or fashion because he always does.
Sure. Well, yeah. I mean, his character is tailor made for that anyway. But that's why I think, like, once again, it goes back to how fast are they moving, right? Like, if this is a quick moving thing, if this is a one off, which you don't think it is, I don't know if it is. If it is a one off, you would suspect Daniel Bryan wins, obviously, and if it's not, you would have to say Cass is going to win. I'm just going to go and I'm going to stick with it. I'll say Daniel Bryan still wins, and that's it. I don't know that Cass losing to Daniel Bryan is one thing. But it's not the end, necessarily. You know, I mean, he could move on. He could move down. He could move whatever. But
if he moves down, then the question would be, why the fuck would you put him in that position anyway?
That's true, too.
You could have brought him back to wrestle anybody lower on the card.
You could have done it with Jeff Hardy.
You could have done with somebody lower than that, Todd Dillinger. You could have done anything. You know? But you put him against your biggest babyface in the company for a reason.
I will definitely say that he should win the match. If I had to say this is who should win, who needs to win.
Yeah.
You know, there's a specific columnist that I know to write that kind of thing, who should and will. I think Cass should win the match. So I'll say that much at least. You know, a lot of people don't want to hear that because they want Daniel Bryan to be doing other stuff, but you know, that is what it is.
You know, if it was up to fans, Daniel Bryan would beat Thanos. So. So before we get to the championship match, we have one more grudge match, if you would say. And I think, besides the Nakamura AJ match, it's the most interesting match on the card. We have Samoan Joe versus Samoa Joe. Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to talk about in this match. But the first question is this. Do you think there will be any ramifications of what happens in this match afterwards? Or do you think we know it's a one-off. Like, they're not going to see each other again until the next pay-per-view.
Right.
Right? But do you think anything that happens in this match will be lasting? Or is it really just going to be, hey, pin, submit, whatever it is, hey, I'll see you later?
What do you mean by lasting? Like, between those two? Or just like as far as like how it carries over for them going forward on each show.
How it goes, because we've made the joke that Roman is conspiracy theory Roman, which is probably turning into emo Roman, right?
Yeah. He just started coming out to like
Evanescence.
Evanescence, yes.
with the guy liner on, yeah.
I mean, I would pop for that, not gonna lie. But anyways, I do think I'm just gonna go ahead and give my predictions of the match because they kind of explain what I think is gonna happen. I think Samoa Joe's gonna win.
Okay. You gonna choke him out?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna put the big dog to sleep. Nobody puts the big dog to sleep. Come on now.
Wow.
He's a big dog.
By the way, for those listening, Karl just got paid $50 by Vince for saying that.
I did.
That's right. Know that. Yeah.
So the big dog must sleep, pal. Anyways,
Cena must pose, Brock must farm, big dog must sleep.
That's right. So what I think is going to happen, I do think Joe cut that promo on AJ on Tuesday, and I do think they're headed that direction immediately with Joe. But I think it's the right thing to do. I think Joe is good. I think Joe is going to be up there in that WWE Championship scene immediately. And the reason why I say that is because before he left anyway, he was already kind of in the Universal Championship scene. I don't think it's that much of a leap to bring him over to the show that doesn't have Brock Lesnar, who he almost beat.
Yeah.
And now, he can go in there and get after Styles, and we know they can put on a damn good match. He can go out there and get after Nakamura if Nakamura were to win the title.
History of both guys, actually. Very extensive history of both guys.
So, I think that works. I think that's with Joe. I think that's where it's headed with Joe, provided my prediction's correct and he wins. Roman, honestly, I think there is going to be. I'm trying to give WWE the benefit of the doubt on this one. I think there will be some lasting effects of this loss if he loses, because I think at some point he's going through this losing streak, so to speak. Can't beat Brock. Can't really beat anybody else. He got the win in the tag match on Monday, but it's not like he pinned him. He speared Jinder and that was it. I mean, whoop-de-doo. But so Roman is he's going through like we said earlier, this emo thing. But I feel like there's definitely Roman still believes that he's this, that, and the other, right? I'm the Universal Champ. You're looking at the Universal Champ. I'm this, I'm that, and the other. But he still can't beat anybody. And so the idea of him still believing that and then feuding with other people who are like, dude, you can't beat Brock. You can't beat Samoa Joe. You can't do nothing. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's a way to kind of work that in. And so I think that's where they're going to go with that. But I could be wrong. It could be back to tater tots and suffering succotash the next week. I don't know.
Don't do that. This ain't the show. This ain't the show.
But I don't know that they'll necessarily do anything, because like we said with what happened at WrestleMania last year when he beat Undertaker, and we thought the next night we were like, oh shit, this is my yard. The crowd's saying all kinds of stuff. And then the next week he's back out and he's just kind of like, I got a lot of respect for the Undertaker.
I never thought he was heel. I thought it was I thought it was ballsy of them to let him just play with the crowd.
Right. No, I agree with that. Anytime you think they're going to do something, they kind of maybe dangle it out there. They usually don't. So I wouldn't get my hopes up. If you're one of those people who thinks that this is going to change everything, I wouldn't get my hopes up. But I think there's a better chance now than there has been because of the way his hair is going through this. I'm the dog's my priority yet. I'm pretty sure it can be nobody. So that's my thoughts on that. Go ahead. I spoke a lot. Go ahead.
For the record, we both agree on Samoa Joe, and I do think Samoa Joe will choke him out because I feel like I asked the question for a specific reason. I feel like Roman is going on a journey.
Okay.
And I don't want to call it a road to redemption because I am not. I hate. There's so many wrestling cliches I hate, and one of them is, well, John Cena's gonna turn heel. This is not gonna happen. So I hate to continue this whole, well, Roman gonna turn heel. I'm not gonna continue to keep predicting it, but I can see them finally moving towards it, and here's why. I'm not saying he's gonna turn heel, but I can see this road leading to him snapping.
Right.
Because for the first time since Roman's been the top guy, they have another person who can lead the company from a top guy interest perspective. Not just babyface, interest perspective, right? And yes, I realize all the people are going to be screaming that Bryan. Bryan is the most injury-prone wrestler of all time. So no disrespect to Bryan, because Bryan is always in the equation, but he can't be the quotient. Ooh,
Right.
that was deep. Or the product, if you multiply and go dividing. Yes. And AJ is already a known entity. So yeah,
Right.
he's a big deal, but he's not their deal. He is their, you know what I'm saying? But Braun Strowman has gotten so big, gotten so popular, and while in hindsight we can say with the genius move of pairing this dude with a 10-year-old child, you know?
Oh yeah.
He's over with everybody, right? All he got to do is start selling merch. And he's going to start selling more merch because he's getting more merch. That's the key. That's the first key, right?
And he's got him a little catchphrase.
He got a catchphrase. That gets
Yeah.
over. Yes. So now, for the first time since then, and then I'd argue, Seth is in the best position he's been since Roman's been the top guy, right?
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
the pieces around him are better and different. So, with that being said, you can finally entertain the option of doing some interesting stuff with Roman. Okay?
Sure.
And the difference between Roman being entertained as a heel and Cena being entertained as a heel is because the crux of the character of John Cena the wrestler is I am inherently good. That's the crux of his character. So it's understandable for him to go so long and not turn heel because of what he represents to children, right? Roman Reigns, the crux of his character is I need to be successful.
Right.
That's been the crux of his character. The reason he joined the Shield was because they wanted to make an impact. After they broke up, him and Dean said, all right, you go after Dean, I'm going to go after Randy, but while I'm going after Randy, I'm going to go get this title first. Right?
Yeah.
Ever since then, he's been fighting grudges, but he puts his grudges to the side to get the title. That's the crux of who he is as a character. I need to be successful because I have a bloodline to live up to.
Sure.
Yokozuna, Afa and Sika, Rikishi, The Rock, all these people. So I can see him turning heel at the end of this journey. I'm not gonna predict it because I don't want to be stupid. I say all this to say that. I say all that to say this. I feel like this match is going to have so many more ramifications after this match, because I feel like this is going to be the match that sends Roman into a bit of a stupor, and I feel like this is going to send Joe into a bit of an incline. But I don't think Joe's going to challenge for the championship. I feel like that was a misnomer. I feel like Joe, hot take number 2, Joe will be the winner of your 2018 Money in the Bank ladder match.
Okay. I can see that as well.
So that's where I see this going. And I say that because Shinsuke got to win the match, as far as I'm concerned. And we ain't got there yet, but Shinsuke got to win. Right? He got to. It's no disqualification. Right. He literally can start the match and kick him in the dick. Like, he has to win. I can't see Uber Hill Nakamura versus Uber Hill Joe as the top angle on SmackDown. I just can't see it.
Sure. I guess you would have to think they're going to keep running with AJ then. We can talk about that. We'll save that. We can talk about that.
But that's where I'm at. So
okay, Joe. That's fair. So we're on the same page that we both think Joe's going to win. So far, it's the only match we agree on.
Yes, which is very pleasant, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like for the first time in Roman's career as the top guy, they can just focus on telling a story. They don't have to. Yeah. He don't have to be fit into some hole or some peg or fill a quota. You know, he can just go out there and tell a good story, which is what has ultimately helped Seth and brought him back to prominence, because they kept trying to fill quotas with Seth. You know,
right?
You turn on the Shield, so you got to be that guy, and then then Orton left, so you got to feud Orton, and then now you got to be smarky and smarmy and all this and champion, and you lose the title, you got to come back, and you have to Don't forget though, you got to go back and you got to get Triple H. Like he had to continue to do all this stuff, and then when he was able to make up with Dean, he could just be Seth again,
Right.
which helped him tremendously. So, but yeah, okay. So the next match is I think this is a match from 2004, the WWE US Championship between Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton.
Yeah. Oh, you want my thoughts?
I mean, that's kind of the point of the show.
Don't really have any.
All right. So the next match is the. Give me a prediction at least.
I'll give a little small thought, I guess, just because I don't know. I don't like Randy Orton is so fucking over. Like maybe not in the United States that much anymore, but definitely everywhere else. He had one of the biggest pops of the night Royal Rumble, if you recall. But God, Randy Orton just gets on my damn nerves. Me and Jeff, we're cool. We're cool. Okay, Randy, great. I don't care about this match. I don't. I mean, it's no offense to either one. I'm sure they'll put on a fine match, but it won't be as good as what they did 10 years ago. Because Jeff's basically like a board these days. He can still move a little bit, but he's, Randy's as good as he ever was, in my opinion. But,
Yeah.
He
doesn't care though.
Yeah, I think Jeff Hardy wins the match. That's my only thought. As my old friend Caleb might say, I wish I had more to say, but I don't.
Yeah, the difference is Caleb said that for every single thing. So Jeff's gonna win because I just don't see no way they give the belt back to Randy. But I do think that two things of note will happen, and it might be an either or, it might not be both. But I do believe that this is gonna lead to Orton turning heel.
Good.
And yeah, because that's a heel Orton is a good Orton. And most notably, Andrade Cien Almas is going to debut, I believe, in attacking him after the match.
What about Shelton Benjamin? He falls in here somewhere too because he has the win over Randy from the week prior, and he came out in the middle of their little argument to run his mouth. So they don't just write him off, right?
Does he though?
Well, no, but I mean, I don't think they just write him off completely. He's got to get.
But don't they though?
I mean, I'd be okay with it because once again, I could care less about the three of these guys in any kind of feud in 2018. Just to be clear,
you have to remember that there is a legacy on the SmackDown brand to always and forever make random ass tag matches. This is what the brand's legacy will forever be. So Sheldon had to come out because they had to have 4 people.
Yeah. Maybe.
But I mean, maybe Sheldon will. I don't know.
Maybe Sheldon will get a match with them on the next Tuesday with Hardy because he could say, "Look, I beat Randy. You got your match. You beat Randy at Backlash. It's my turn." Maybe that'll be the end of it. I don't know.
I say Andrade's debuting because of this. There's a reason that they are not allowing that they're pushing off. They're holding off. There's a reason, right? And I would be really, truly, genuinely annoyed if they hold off on his debut just to pull the MVP on him and debut against a nobody.
Right.
Like, you're holding if you wanted him to start beating jobbers or lesser guys, he could have came the first night.
Yeah, he's got to jump into the water doing something. Can't just. I mean, really would be pointless to hold off. I agree with that. But at the same time, they're holding off on Sanity too. And is Sanity going to come in and jump into something immediately, or are they going to start beating up jobbers too? It's these two that they haven't debuted, so it's very interesting to kind of see what the plans are with those two. But I could see that happening. Yeah, I mean, I'd be perfectly fine with that, even though Andrade wrestles circles around Jeff Hardy. I think Andrade Randy Orton would be a much better match, personally.
Yeah, but Andrade's. So I know I don't believe necessarily in genuine heels or faces anymore, but they definitely try to pit a protagonist against an antagonist in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
And I feel like Jeff Hardy is more interesting at this point. Maybe not in the ring, but as a character, he's a million times more interesting than Randy Orton is right now.
Well, if they just let Randy Orton do his MAGA character that he really is in real life, he could just tell Andrade, send him over the wall, and we got a feud. Everyone would hate it, but we got a feud.
Randy West, Kanye Orton. But no, I think it would behoove Andrade's character to attack a guy like Jeff, because Andrade's character is, I'm better than you, and not like Del Rio, I'm better than you, but like I'm better than you. But yeah,
Right.
did you? So JJ Williams from the Wrestling Observer newsletter tweeted out a tweet that says somebody in my mentions, they just said that Andrade Cien Almas is the Mexican version of Alberto Del Rio, and it is LOL. Do you know who actually wrote that tweet?
I have no idea.
Caleb M. Baldwin. Perfect.
I think I do remember seeing that now. I think I do remember seeing him tweet that out before.
That's hilarious, yes. Okay. Interesting match here. WWE Intercontinental Championship between Seth Rollins and The Miz. So, please, you're a Miz. I can't call you a Miz fan because there is a Miz fan.
Right.
But are you a Mizniak?
I'm sure.
You're definitely a Mizniak. Yeah,
I'm a Miz Mark. Miz Mark.
Okay, sure. I don't like that, but it'll work. You're the one. But
right.
Please, God, tell me he's not going to win this match.
No, he's not going to win.
Okay, because dog, if after all this, he gets back and holds that damn mid-card title again. Come on, bro. Like, eventually, you got to push him up.
That's the thing. So this is the thing about this, and I thought it was very interesting that Miz TV this week was centered around the United States Championship. And in my head, I'm like, motherfucker, don't do it.
Yeah.
Do not do it.
Reading too much into that. They had to sell a match with
that's fair, because I love Miz the shit stirrer. I'm down.
And Miz can't build his match with Seth because Seth can't come to SmackDown.
Right. So no, I don't think Seth's losing that title. There's no reason for it, because then SmackDown would have both United States and Intercontinental Championship.
So basically have another World Championship.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I don't know what their plan is with Miz. I'm very interested in that because the Daniel Bryan thing seems to be on hold to some degree.
As it should be.
Yeah, no, I agree. So they've got to work around that because they're on the same show. You know what I mean? Daniel Bryan's going to show up eventually one of these days and punch The Miz in the face. So far, the first week, Miz didn't show up. The second week, Daniel Bryan got beat up in the back.
Can't get punched in the face if you're not there.
Yeah, right. And this week, Daniel Bryan wasn't there. So this is the third week in a row. They're going to be at the same pay-per-view having matches, but they won't do that because the pay-per-views don't, they might, but I don't think that'll have any effect on anything. So this will be the fourth SmackDown that Miz will have been officially a member of the roster. If they got to keep getting creative. So, because people are itching for that, and they know it. We know it. So I think they've got to do something to entertain The Miz. Because they got the thing with Daniel Bryan if that continues with Big Cass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I'm just kind of confused on what they're going to do with The Miz. It's just like, is he just kind of floating right now?
I think so. Well, and this is the time when you want people to float because Money in the Bank's coming up. So you can excuse the floating because you're building to a major multi-man match. But I feel like Miz can kind of, I'm trying to think of somebody he could feud with. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like you have to push this to their first encounter in the ring as a match being SummerSlam.
Right.
At the earliest. You have to. I'm sure that they can be involved, but I think you would have to push it to SummerSlam, at least their first match, because a match of that magnitude with this much build behind it, I would be disappointed. And it's different than Roman Cena, because Roman Cena had no real discernible build. It was top guy versus top guy. Talk shit about you, talk shit about me. Hey, let's wrestle. There was no backstory. They had never had rumors of issues in the back. Cena had never been the guy to say, I don't want somebody to take my... Like, there was no real heat there, right?
Right.
That's why it was so weird for them to talk so much about them, and that's why it felt so manufactured. Because what they were saying were real things, but they never had a reason to say them before.
Right.
You know?
You're right, yeah.
Right? So this isn't Rock Cena where Cena had real heat with The Rock and talked trash about The Rock for years to get him back. And this was not that. Miz and Bryan have real life heat that translated into real wrestling heat. On top of that, they have a story where the entirety of Bryan's career is based around Miz. Bryan started as Miz's rookie. Bryan was Miz's first feud. Bryan won his first championship for Miz. Like, they have so much history. So I just don't feel like you can run that at Extreme Rules.
Well, see, I actually have, because we can talk about these two guys right now. Like, you talked about how you thought Samoa Joe was going to win the Money in the Bank.
Yes.
Right? I think their first encounter might be at SummerSlam, but I don't think it's going to be the encounter. I think as of right now, the way things are playing out, he may not even be in the match. We don't know. I think The Miz is going to win Money in the Bank, which he's won it before. I understand.
No.
But because
more crutches, man. God, dog.
What?
It's more crutches. Just let the man be him. Like, I'm tired of the crutches.
I agree.
That's like in general, I'm just tired of it.
I could see them running the idea of Daniel Bryan, like for instance, Shinsuke Nakamura might win the title.
Mm-hmm.
I could see they just did a dark match with Daniel Bryan and Nakamura. A lot of times when they run dark matches, sometimes it's to test the wheels on a potential match.
That's a real dream match, yeah.
So I think there's the possibility of a SummerSlam Daniel Bryan Nakamura world title match with a Miz cash in after Daniel Bryan wins the title to just take that moment away.
I just thought about something.
What's that?
Money in the Bank's in Chicago.
Is it?
Yeah. You run Bryan versus Nakamura in Chicago.
You could do that, yeah.
As your main event. Yeah.
You could run it, but my whole thing is I could see them doing Miz wins Money in the Bank, Bryan wins the title later that night, Miz cashes in, and then all of a sudden at SummerSlam or if it's a different whatever, all of a sudden you still got Daniel Bryan and the Miz at SummerSlam for the World Championship.
Yeah, I can see that, and that could happen very well. I'm really tired of them harboring the Miz with the crutch. And whether that be a mid-card title he has to prop up that they're not giving any time or shine to, or whether that's a gimmick prop like Money in the Bank that he has to hold,
or lackeys like Mr. Raj.
You took it out of my mouth, or extra lackeys that he has. Can you just let the Miz be the Miz? For once, he has worked so hard to prove to this company and more importantly all these fans that he is worthy of being in that spot.
I agree.
Give him an opportunity. And I don't care if you got to give him mid-card feuds and let him build back up. That's fine because he's proven that he'll do that. But don't harbor him with another crutch.
I agree.
That's what I want to see. Now, to your point, I always said I personally would like to see, even if you run them feuding for a couple of months, whatever, I would like to see Miz some kind of way win the championship going into Mania and defend it, and Bryan win the Rumble. And I say that because if Bryan wins the Rumble, then everybody can shut the fuck up. Right? He finally got it. He's gonna go into Mania. He'll beat Miz. Every single bird that has been over his head and the fan's head, it'll be gone, and we can move on.
Ties up all the loose ends.
Every single one. Yes, we can move on. That's what I want to see happen. But I don't. We've done all this. We haven't said one word about Seth Rollins.
Well, because Seth is Seth. I think he's just going to go back and either get back to the Finn Balor thing or another contender. I don't really see.
I think
Seth's in a good place right now.
Amazing place.
You could see potentially, I know Dean Ambrose is close. I don't know if he's clear, but I know he's close. So there's that.
Jordan is ready.
Jason Jordan is, yeah. So And both of those guys have history with Seth. Very recent history. So
Yeah, but man, I wouldn't. I was gonna say I'd be bummed if Ambrose comes back just to feud with them again. But we're well overdue for Ambrose heel turn.
agreed.
Even though I like my Shield to be family, but but I think they rerun Seth in Chicago. One thing we have to acknowledge this: when WWE runs Chicago 5 times a year for a reason.
Oh
Right?
yeah,
Because
they know what they're getting when they go there.
Yes, that's their best crowd. So, and with All In being in Chicago in September, I know they're going to be game to say, all right, we're going to give you something to live up to.
Right.
So imagine a Bryan Nakamura World Title match, a Seth Finn match with run a ladder match. Why not?
Just between those two.
Just between those two, because I don't take them.
They don't do singles ladder matches very much anymore. One-on-one ladder matches. It's been forever. I can't even. I don't even. I'm sure someone could probably, a historian could go back and tell me, but I don't personally remember on a live television WWE event the last time they had a one-on-one ladder match.
It'll have to have probably been at TLC recently, but the last one that I can remember, and we're talking main roster.
Right.
The last one off the top of my head that I can remember is Rollins Ambrose at Money in the Bank in the TLC match.
Okay.
And that was a couple years ago.
So it's been a while. But those two are very capable of putting on a tremendous one-on-one ladder match for the Intercontinental title.
But here's the thing about that match. The only way you can run that match is if Finn becomes a demon.
Yeah, Finn has to win it.
No. Finn has become the demon.
Oh, okay. Well, I also feel like the thing about ladder matches sometimes is there's always for titles especially, they don't do it as much anymore. But in the beginning, the way they did the very first ladder match that was run at WrestleMania 10 was perfect. Because Shawn never really lost the belt, and Razor had won while Shawn was gone. Right. Yeah. So he never really lost it, and then Razor won it, right? Mm-hmm. While Michaels was gone, and they had the 2 belts hanging. Mm-hmm. So in a lot of ways, sometimes it seems like when it comes down to singles matches, for the ladder match especially, there needs to be a reason for it. You can't just, I don't know if you could just have a ladder match, so they got to figure out a way to have that, to make that work too.
I'm not saying it has to be a ladder match. I just said that was available for them.
I would love to see it. I would love to see that.
I feel like the blow off happens, but I feel like you have to run the demon because that's the last part of the chapter because it started with the demon. Finn beat him as the demon when Seth broke his shoulder.
Right.
So that's the end of the finality of that pairing. But I also think, and this is just me speculating as a fan, fantasy booking, if you will. I don't know if Finn needs to turn heel because he sells too much merch and stuff like that. But I think it'd be an interesting dynamic of that demon persona. Did you see Thor Ragnarok?
To see what?
Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
You know how, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie, people listening. You know how Banner took over Hulk for 2 years.
Yeah.
And there's always that Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde dichotomy of that inner, darker persona taking over, right?
Yeah.
Finn's never had that. It's always been a very, very, very separate, I pull it out when I need it. I think it'd be interesting if the demon, because Finn hasn't been very victorious in big matches, starts to creep out and start to take over more of his personality, which starts to make him darker.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to. That would have to be because right now Finn is the happiest Irishman in the world. Yeah. So they definitely got to start working on that if they're going to do something. If they were to do something like that, you have to get the wheels in motion because right now he is the happiest dude on the planet.
Yeah, so and it would never happen because that would mean that WWE creative would have to be creative. But ooh. I'm joking. I don't hate y'all like everybody else does. All right. SmackDown Women's Championship. I don't imagine we'll have a lot to say about this match, but Carmella, World Champ versus Charlotte. What you think? That's how I feel.
I don't think they had Carmella carry around this briefcase for almost a year for her to win the title and lose it back 2 weeks later.
Didn't they though?
I mean, you think so?
I don't put it past them.
I think Carmella's going to win. I don't have any thoughts because now she's aligned herself up with the Iconics. And
I don't know that they're aligned. I just feel like they have similar interests.
Yeah, common interests. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think they're a super group now. You know.
No, I don't think they're like a stable.
Yeah.
But I think she's got them in her back pocket, so to speak. You
I
know,
wouldn't even go that far. I just think that all three of them hate the same three people.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know with Charlotte. That's the thing. The women's division once again, like every time I think I got the women's division figured out, I don't. So, but I think Charlotte could be away from the title for a minute, but I don't know where Carmella goes next. Maybe Becky Lynch.
Oscar.
Well, fuck. Like that's where the screw jobs are gonna have to start happening because
Carmella's gonna die.
She might. I really like Carmella, so I'm hoping she keeps the title for a couple of minutes at least.
I do too. But if you guys thought that The Miz was Honky Tonk Man of 2018, 17, 16, Carmella is about to have the most dusty finishes, fake finishes. She's gonna hire people that look like her. She's gonna do every trick in the book to keep this title for as long as she can.
I agree.
I'm telling you, bro. She is going to be. I feel like they're gonna rerun like her title reign with the Benny Hinn theme song with it, because it's gonna be so much ridiculousness. Because God bless her, she's an amazing character. She's an amazing talent. She's great on the mic. She's beautiful. But when it comes to in that ring stuff, dog, like I've taken one bump in my life, and I might be able to grapple her. You know. So, and that's no diss, because she's good at her job. That's all that matters.
She doesn't need to be good in the ring, really.
Right now, no. I mean, I would hope for her to get to progress.
Sure.
We have to remember she's only been wrestling for 3-4 years, but nonetheless, she's good at her job. Her job right now.
That's part of the reason I like her so much.
Yeah.
Because her promo work right now, to me,
tremendous.
It's perfect. And like, especially not this week, but the week before, where she was made him run the video package a second time. Like, just the whole, like, everything she does is perfect. And she's got that fucking laugh. You just want to, like, every time she starts laughing about, like, I beat Charlotte. I want to thank me. I'm the champ. Like, I just, like, like, you want to, like, so, yeah, man, Carmella's great. I don't think and Charlotte doesn't need the title. Charlotte.
And I know that's your girl. And I think she's the best in the business.
I love Charlotte.
And I truly do think she's the best in the business. But I have some Charlotte fatigue right now. Like, I could use a break from Charlotte.
That's fair. Yeah, I could. Yeah, that's fine.
And
there's lots for her to do. I mean, you can find stuff for her to do.
I need this Charlotte Becky Lynch feud in my life with Becky Lynch's heel. I need that.
It's gonna be tough because Becky Lynch is like Diamond Dallas Page. She's got the taped up ribs. She shouldn't have the taped up ribs. You know what I mean? Like, she's just.
DDP did turn eventually.
He did.
You're the triad.
But I do think Carmella will retain. That's my official prediction on that.
Mine too. By the way,
don't know how yet, but looking forward to seeing how.
Well, but okay. So notice we both said Carmella will retain. That don't mean she got to win the match.
No, I'm not saying. So okay. So if we want to, I think she's gonna lose the match by count out or something stupid. It's gonna be something ridiculous. I think she needs to lose it in a manner to where Charlotte doesn't get a real rematch. So like if it's like a hooker by crook where like, you know, Charlotte or Carmella just hits her with a chair, or Billy and Peyton come out and fuck things up.
Well, remember, Paige don't get rematches though.
Nah, okay, yeah.
But I do again, booking for Chicago, I do think they run Carmella versus Asuka. God bless her. She needs to hire every. You remember WrestleMania 25 when Cena came out to the ring with all the fake Cenas that look like M&Ms?
Yeah.
She needs to get about 20,000 of them fake Carmellas.
Fake Carmellas.
And just
fake princesses from Staten Island.
So basically, Liv Morgan.
Yeah. So yeah, Charlotte will win the match, but Carmella will remain your WWE SmackDown Women's Champion.
Okay, so we have one more match to talk about before the main event. I guarantee you this will take us about 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Nia Alexa.
Oh, that's on the card?
Yes.
I didn't even know that. Nia wins.
All right. So anyway, the main event.
Well, you know what? No. I do want to say one thing.
I have something to say too, but I was just.
And I don't know how you feel about it, but this moment of bliss stuff, everyone all of a sudden, I want to remind everyone about something real quick, okay? Mm-hmm. Before WrestleMania, when Alexa was doing the whole fat shaming stuff, if y'all recall, it was, this is cringeworthy. I can't believe they're doing this, running this. She's saying all these things. Now, all of a sudden, she's doing the moment of bliss, which is basically the same thing.
I'm so glad you brought this up.
And all of a sudden,
so glad.
Oh, it's fine. This is hilarious. This is great. No, it's all cringy, boys. Like, it's all cringy. The moment of bliss stuff is, you might like it. I think it's terrible.
So, like, you have, like, you've invigorated my body with, like, some energy right now. I'm so glad you brought this up. You're wrong. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. But I'm gonna actually make a point that you're gonna have to agree with.
I don't think so.
The difference between Alexa before and Alexa now is Alexa faking it.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah, of course.
Right. So it was cringy before because she was saying real things about her that was really mean and hurtful. This week she talked about her holding 2 turkey legs in her mouth and making fun of her because she couldn't sit in a teacup. It's not real. It's just stupid stuff, but she's finding reasons to feel like okay.
To make herself look like a victim.
Yes. So you know me better than anybody because you're like real life one of my best friends.
Yeah.
To me, nothing in wrestling matters more than the story. I don't care if you can wrestle a 17-star match. If you don't have a story, then it doesn't matter. Everything matters about the story. The story was so beautifully told because you have I guess you could call a mean girl who's stunningly gorgeous, but had a best friend who was not normal, right? And the best friend, just all she wanted was her friendship. But the other girl, the mean girl, used her, dropped her, made fun of her. The mean girl had to get the comeuppance, right? The beauty of the change after the mean girl got the comeuppance and became the top lady in the business or in the group, right? Or in the school, if we're equated to school, is she's still the mean girl's still a bully, but the mean girl has to get the attention back on her. So how you get the attention? Oh, well, she's bullying me, and she's been bullying me the whole time. Y'all think she was nice, but she's been mean to me the whole time. I was really the victim. You just heard a couple of things. It's so genius, and the things she's saying aren't anything real. Alexa's 5'0". Yes, of course you're gonna ask, can she ride the ride? You know, but like it's so, and then her conviction is hilarious.
Oh, yeah. She does it. She plays it very well. But here's a couple of things. Yes. I want to make one point that you made about Charlotte. I will make about Alexa. I've got Alexa Bliss fatigue, first of all.
Okay.
And part of that is because I get that this is who Alexa is. She's the mean girl of the school. Mm-hmm. I'm just kind of over it now. Like, I'm just not really interested in it that much anymore. And that's, it's not her fault. But, like, once again, we wanted Nia to kill Alexa at Mania. We're like, that's what should happen. And she did.
Yeah.
She has to actually murder her this time.
She will.
Like, I feel like if, like, we need to, like, Alexa has to go away. Doesn't have to go away, but she needs to, like, be gone for a little while. Like, go do something else. Like, out of this title scene, out. Somewhere else. Doing something else. I don't care who she foods, but I just don't care for these moment of bliss things. They're funny.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. I can only listen to so much of it. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's a genius way to continue their story because even going back to when they were on commentary a couple weeks ago, and Alexa wouldn't come out to commentary because she was scared of Nia. Like, it's a wonderful way to tell the story where the dynamics are different. Because even though Alexa's beautiful and Nia I think is more beautiful than Alexa personally, but the size difference, right? Right?
Yeah.
You normally would think the bigger person would be the bully, but in this case, she's the one being the victim.
Right.
So to add to that story and to give Alexa some real heat, because imagine this. Nia squashes Alexa, literally, not like figurative, not like wrestling wise, but like she Samoan dropped her from the second rope. She squashed her for real.
Yeah.
She squashed Alexa, beats her for the championship, right? They're gonna have a rematch. If Alexa wasn't pulling this, you think Alexa can really come out in the ring and continue the same rhetoric she was continuing before when she was champ? After Nia beat the shit out of her? So this is a really creative way to continue to keep heat on Alexa, because everybody knows Alexa's doing this just to get attention and to try to defame the name of Nia. So now Alexa keeps heat. She don't have to wrestle because she had the breast implant augmentation surgery. And Nia continues to get the comeuppance, right? Nia, you saw what happened in Montreal. That's not a city I would expect her to get cheered in. And
Right.
she came out there and got cheered.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Here's the other thing though. I don't buy into the whole, like, Alexa has to have a rematch. Because
It's Raw. They all have rematches. It's Raw.
It's Raw. They
all have rematches.
Right, but it's so, like, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't though. Like, even for, I mean, just, I don't like that inconsistency.
Who hasn't got a rematch on Raw except for Finn?
Kevin Owens never got his rematch for the Universal title.
Because he fought Goldberg. It's a bit a little different.
But hey, we're supposed to be consistent, right?
Okay, so hold on.
That's just a problem. Like, I don't like this idea of, like, when it's convenient to have a rematch, we have one.
I get you.
You know.
But hold on. So 2 people out of years didn't get a rematch, and there's a problem?
Oh, well, Finn Balor hasn't gotten a rematch.
That's
for
the other person.
Title, he never lost. Yeah,
that's the other person. Finn and there are legitimate, understandable reasons why they didn't get rematches. But those 2 are the only 2 on this Raw brand who haven't got rematches in the past 4 years, and it's a fuss.
Well, technically, Goldberg didn't get a rematch for the Universal
Goldberg don't
title.
wrestle no more.
I know, but I'm just saying. I was sort of just throw that out there. Technically, he's owed a rematch. If he decides to come back one day and doesn't get a rematch for the Universal title, I'm gonna make sure you know about it.
Please do. Let me know. And more important, let me know if Goldberg decides to wrestle again.
I just say, like, we talk about consistency a lot on this show. And yeah, no, you don't get to walk away from it now.
I'm not walking away from it. But 398 out of 400 times ain't consistent?
Hey, but they do it on SmackDown too, and I don't care if they're separate brands. It's still the WWE. And there's they make it seem as if the rematch is what has always been, right? And then all of a sudden, on one brand, it's not. And then on one brand, it is.
Okay.
Like, what is that? Like, that's to me, like, and they never really, like, make it a thing. They just do it whenever. And they don't ever explain it off. They're just like, okay, that's it. Like, I mean, I don't like loose ends. Like, I feel like we need to know why this wasn't given.
But there were loose ends, and then there's explaining stuff that don't need to be explained.
But I disagree with that. Like, I don't like Finn Balor's. That to me is the perfect example, because you can say, okay, he was hurt and things have changed, but whoop-de-doo. Just give him his rematch. If he wants his rematch, you should give it to him, even if it means he wants to fight Brock Lesnar. Like, if he dies, he dies, as they might say in Rocky IV. Like, that, it is what it is. Like, I just feel like if the man never lost the belt, he should. At this point, it's been what? How long has it been? Like 2 years almost. Since that match, since SummerSlam, when he won it, had to give it up the next time. A year and a half?
This SummerSlam will be 2 years.
Yeah, like, what are we waiting on? That's a problem, and I just don't like. And I'm sorry, I know you don't. I'm looking at your face right now. If y'all can see his face, he hates me. But I just don't. In what reality, other than just like, oh, Alexa gets a rematch because we give rematches out, but then sometimes we also don't give rematches out.
But it's
like,
not sometimes, Karl. It's been twice in 4 years.
I bet you we might be able to go back and find something else. I don't have it.
That you talk about. I got homework. That's your homework.
Okay, that's why I won't do it. But just so you know, but
all I'm saying is, like, complain about something that has a legitimate complaint about. Like, if you got to complain about something,
I complained about the cringy ass segments, Moment of Bliss that they do that I don't like.
No, I know, but the totality of the statement was the totality of the statement was, I don't see how, when you talk about consistency, sometimes consistency isn't perfect. It's not 100%, but it's by and large overwhelmingly consistent.
But here's the other thing, though. Like, and this is another thing I could say about this, and this doesn't even have to do with getting rematches. This is guys like, for instance, Roman Reigns is a great example of this. Uh-huh. He got his ass handed to him at WrestleMania,
Uh-huh.
and then they're like, you know what? You get to do it again. Why? There's no reason for that. There's no reason he gets a rematch.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When you watch Raw, do you actually watch Raw or do you watch it on Hulu?
Do I watch what?
When you watch Raw, do you actually watch the full 3-hour show on USA or do you watch it on Hulu?
No, I watch the full show.
You do. And do you pay attention? Do you listen to every single thing that they say and not
I
fast forward?
always watch the promos. I skip through on matches sometimes.
Okay.
Depends on what it is.
Because the story about Roman getting a rematch is that Brock asked for that rematch.
Right. That's what they say, but I mean, like, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. I think Paul Heyman said that he requested it or whatever. But
yeah, it's been said a couple of times.
That's fucking stupid.
Why is it
stupid? It's stupid. It's a cheap way to just have this match.
How is it cheap?
Why would Brock honestly want the rematch?
Because Brock hates Roman. And then
I know, but he just cracked the skull and left him laying. He had no what else is there to prove? Okay. Why would you want a rematch? You know what I mean? Like,
why would you want to do anything in wrestling?
Well, I get that, but if you've already proven it, what is else? Why? Like, there's just like for that specific instance, it's just to me it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You know what I mean? I'm fine with it happening. It's just one of those things where it's like that's another example of something where it's like, he wants to prove he can beat me one more time. We already know he can. He busts you completely the fuck open in the middle of the ring.
I feel like what you're doing right now is you are eating a bag of chips. And when you get to the end of the bag of chips and you see the little broken up parts, you're complaining that those little broken up parts aren't big chips. You are scraping the bottom of the barrel to find something to not complain. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to, but to find something to have an issue with, when by and large the entire rest of the package overwhelmingly makes sense. But you found, in terms of the title reigns, 2 title reigns that didn't get rematches, and then it's a conversation. And then the Roman thing, I guess that's real. That's real. That's fair. I get the Roman and Brock. I can understand that. That's real. But it's the title match is not a problem because on the Raw brand, it's consistently, forever, everybody gets a rematch. Except for 2 people. One didn't get a rematch because he was hurt for a year. Other person didn't get a rematch because the guy who won the title left.
Well, kind of. Because Goldberg did defend it once. He just never gave a rematch to Owens because Owens went on to do the thing with Jericho. That's all that is.
And Owens came out and said, I want my title back. But right now, I got to take care of Jericho.
Right. Yeah, I get that too. Owens is back now, right? Time for the rematch. Owens on Raw now. Where's that Universal title rematch at? Just saying.
My head hurts.
Just saying.
My head hurts.
So now, I can carry this over. We could do this. We could go around and around. And that's fine. Hurts. I don't give a shit about this match, first of all.
Yeah.
Because I'm done with it. I'm ready. We've been talking about this more than anything. Not even talking about this match, really.
Well, you had to go and talk about the most ridiculous thing we talked about all night. So thank you.
Well, hey, man.
Everybody say thank you, Karl.
Well, at one point, your words were, Alexa gotta get her rematch. So I'm like, hey, hold on a damn second. She don't gotta get nothing because I've seen it happen where they don't get the rematches. That's it. All I'm going to say about it.
All right.
Nia wins, and hopefully this is Alexa does something else.
I hope Alexa gets another rematch just to piss you off.
She probably will. They'll explain it somehow. Nia requested. She wasn't done beating up the 5'0" Alexa Bliss.
Oh my God. Who would have thought that was the thing that got us hot? Nia and Alexa. All right. Main event, WWE Championship, no disqualification. Yeah. So, AKA kicking in the dick is legal. AJ Styles defending against Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah.
This got to be it, right? At least this got to be the title change, right?
You'd think so.
So if Shinsuke don't win here, there's no way you can run it again.
No, that would be the end of it.
It would have to be, right?
Yeah. But at the same time, Shinsuke continues to crack AJ in the jewels. AJ got to be ready this time, right?
So
AJ got to be wearing a cup,
a loaded cup.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be ready, right? Like, how many times could you get hit in the gonads Does he want to not spawn little Republicans anymore? Is he just trying? Is that how he's going to get himself, from being able to have kids?
This is all I know. You hit me in the balls one time. I'm not gonna let you do it again. You get me twice. There's a problem with me. He done been kicked in the balls like 10 times. So either he has an affinity for it,
right,
or Mr. Styles ain't very smart. Thinking. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that AJ's character is ever shown to be like a genius. He's like a genius in the ring, maybe.
So you say he's a savant. So you call him the Forrest Gump of wrestling? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, he's from. In fairness,
my name is Styles.
Right?
My name is AJ. AJ Styles.
I mean, well, think about it. Like, okay, so what was his main focus with the John Cena feud? Beat up John Cena. He sounds like the dude who gets drunk at the bar and just wants to fight someone.
Oh my god!
You know what I mean?
Oh man, we're gonna get
Georgia.
Jumped. If we ever show our faces around wrestling fans, we're gonna get jumped.
I know, it's bad. We're just being funny. But seriously,
Mama told me things were like a phenomenal forearm. You never know how high you gonna fly.
I'm telling you. So this match, no disqualification, calls for it. Shinsuke keeps hitting him in the balls. But I feel like they don't turn Nakamura heel and do all this for AJ to win, right?
The story has to end with Shinsuke winning. I would think yes.
And so that's why I think maybe you move from here, they get one more match out of it. Maybe, because AJ got to have his rematch, or does he? I don't know. It's a SmackDown brand. It's different. Paige don't give rematches now. I don't know.
Well, thank you for listening, everybody. That's our show.
Yeah, I'm with you, though. Like, they can't run it again if Shinsuke loses. And they put all this work and all this silliness into Shinsuke hitting people with the balls and hitting everyone with Kinshasas, rather, and then no speaking English and all that stuff. Like,
he changed his music and he's getting a new shirt and everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
I worked really hard on repackaging my man. So
it wouldn't surprise me to see AJ win and then they move to like Samoa Joe, but I don't think so. I think Shinsuke's gonna win the title. I think it's the right time. They got to make the move now with Shinsuke because they didn't do it last year with Jinder, and everyone thought that was going to happen. You, me, we were all like, yeah, Shinsuke's winning the title off Jinder. Even though we thought at the time it was like he better because he ain't done shit else. But now they finally they managed to work with it. They managed to get everything going when he won the Rumble and then the match with AJ. So lost the match with AJ, but they managed to kind of work it finally back in his favor. So I think now's the time to strike. But once again, we thought there was a time when they should have struck with him before. We thought there was a time when they should have struck with Braun Strowman. So who knows what they're really thinking? It's Road Dogg.
Don't do that.
Don't
do that.
Don't do that. It's Jesse James.
That's not what we do on the show. Okay.
Hey. Earlier you said WWE creative, they're being creative. So
I'm talking about the writers, not the head writers.
Okay. No, but seriously, yeah, I think Shinsuke is going to win it. I don't know who will be his challenger after AJ. I would assume maybe Daniel Bryan because they're running that on the dark match.
Chicago, bro, I'm telling you, Bryan versus Nakamura in Chicago will kill.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. So, what are your thoughts?
Oh, so Shinsuke got to win. He has to win.
Well, to be clear, they could run it again because they did it with Brock and Roman. They could run it again. AJ is tired of this, and he wants to prove once and for all that he doesn't have to beat Shinsuke Nakamura just because he's wearing a loaded cup. He can beat him without it, and he requested this match. Go ahead. Sorry, I had to. One more time. I had to throw that in there.
I have no response.
Go ahead.
Who would have thought that title rematches was what would end the Outsider's Edge? Wow, that's what it took.
It's over, yeah. The band is breaking up.
No, Shinsuke got to win. And quite frankly, Shinsuke is the most interesting person in the WWE right now, main roster. I would argue. Because what he's doing. So, when I watch both the shows, he's probably the number one guy who I'm like, oh man, what's he going to do tonight? You know.
Yeah.
So and he's killing it right now. The way he systematically destroyed the club last week was a thing of beauty. You
Yeah.
know. And even this week, I like how he did like a Japanese version of what Austin does. When Austin talks his trash, Shinsuke got
Oh
on the
yeah.
ground and looked him dead in the eyes. He was like, "Look at me," and he was saying something to him. I don't know what he
Yeah.
was. I couldn't read it. I couldn't read what he was saying. But I just feel like there's creatively so many things you could do with Shinsuke Nakamura as your champion. This Shinsuke Nakamura. Um, so yeah, he has to win. But the question does go, where does AJ go? And I mean, AJ Joe feud with Joe as Money in the Bank champ. Money in the
I'd
Bank
like to
champ.
see AJ and Miz. That'd be a feud I'd like to watch.
If you run AJ and Miz, what do you do with Joe?
Yeah, good question. Well,
And
that's a
I'd
good
like
question.
to see AJ Miz. And remember, Miz was AJ's actual legitimate first feud.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a small one, tiny kind of feud, but yeah.
He knocked his tooth out, so it
Yeah,
was
he
long
did.
enough
I
for him to do
remember.
that.
So that's the thing. There's there's this set of 5
6.
right now. Is it 6?
Jeff Hardy, baby.
Oh, fuck Jeff Hardy. Like there's this set of 5 with Joe, Miz, Shinsuke, AJ, and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. You're not gonna
And
include the immortal Colin Cassidy?
nope.
Okay.
So there's this set of 5, and I feel like they're the 5 that the show is kind of going to be centered around.
Sure.
For the time being, and you got to find a way to kind of rotate them in that main title scene. I think, unless they leave Miz on the back burner, which they could do. I don't know. So we talked about that earlier. So yeah, man.
Yeah. And here's the funny thing. There's not a lot to talk about when it comes to this match, but this is the most intriguing. And that's very rare when that's the case, because normally when you have the most intriguing match, there's a million things to talk about it. This one, Shinsuke gonna win. It's not a whole lot to talk about, but from a watching standpoint, the intrigue is huge because we don't know what they're gonna do. So, but
Between this match and Joe and Roman, that's my pay-per-view for the most part.
And Kaz and Bryan, I think for me.
I mean, the match I'm going to watch the match, obviously, but I don't have as much intrigue, I guess, in that specific match because one, I'm not huge on Cass, and Daniel Bryan's Daniel Bryan. He's going to get his in the end, so it's just kind of whatever. But like, I feel like in terms of like the matches that'll really be good, Joe and Roman, Shinsuke, and AJ.
So what you're telling me is you're not checking for Nia Alexa the rematch. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, you know it.
When they pulled this 5 and 17 star, 5.43 star match on y'all, don't say nothing.
Just as long as they run it again, brother. As long as they run it one more time.
So I'm theming these shows, right? When I put the title, this will be the Run It Again episode.
I like it. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So before we get out of here, y'all, normally we leave y'all with some fire that we have to spit.
Yeah.
This week we ain't had. And all the fire that I had to spew, Karl brought out in the Backlash preview. So what we're going to do is hit you with...
That's right, boys.
We're going to hit you with a lightning round of sorts. So we have...
I got that heat. Go ahead, sorry.
Heat. So we got 5 topics that are interesting to us that they're not huge things to talk about, but kind of want to run through them real quick and just, give your opinions and see where we stand. So first and foremost, I don't know if you saw this, but John Cena just signed a deal with The Rock and $7 Productions to star in The Rock's production of The Jansen Directive. And that's the dude who wrote that book is supposed to be like one of the best writers in his genre, crime fighting or something. I don't know. I don't read.
Never read it, so I don't know.
Neither. But nonetheless, it is potentially a huge movie.
Right.
And a huge role. Not to forget that Cena's starring in Bumblebee coming out soon.
Right.
Cena's supposed to be in another ensemble cartoon movie coming up soon. John Cena Hollywood, y'all.
He is.
And I mentioned to you before we got on the air, I think this is the catalyst for Cena to say, all right, y'all, look, I love wrestling, but I see y'all WrestleMania and SummerSlam. You know?
Yeah.
What you think, man?
Maybe. I do think that John Cena is going to get one more World Championship run before it's over. Even if it's a month or two, I think John Cena is going to break that Ric Flair record and get that one more title reign.
He has to.
So I agree with you overall. Like you said, you think this is kind of the catalyst for it, and that's as far as I would go too. I'm not going to say that like this is the movie where he's like, now I'm doing this, because I think he's got one more title run in him. But yes, I would agree. I think John Cena is about to be Hollywood. Maybe he'll be Hollywood John Cena and spray paint the WWE Championship
like Hollywood Rock and come out with a big Celtic belt buckle.
That'd be great.
Or
I would love it.
Or a big Patriot belt buckle instead of a Brahma Bull.
So anything.
And instead of wearing jorts or khakis, he'll wear like skinny jeans.
Oh my God, that'd be great. Like one of those really thin ties.
Oh no,
like the real thin ties.
No, I hate those.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh my God. Can you see John Cena wrestling in jeggings? I would die. Okay. Nextly, Keith Lee, who might be, I mean, Matt Riddle's the best guy in the Indies, but Keith Lee might be number 2.
Yeah.
An amazing dude, huge guy, and flies like he's a cruiserweight.
From what limited I have seen of him, yes, that sounds pretty accurate.
I've seen him live a couple times.
Right.
In fact, the first time I saw him, he was booked at Road Relative Wrestling, the promotion here in Houston, Booker T's promotion.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard of him. I had never heard of the dude. This was about a couple years ago, probably. And I saw him come out, and I'm being completely candid here. I just want to give you my stream of consciousness. I'm pulling a Kanye West. Yes, numerous Kanye West references in this podcast. But I saw him, I was like, what? Who is this fat dude trying to wrestle? Like, what is he doing? And bro, when I tell you he did a dive to the outside and I thought he was about to kill the guy. And at the end of that match, and you know his catchphrase is basking my glory. At the end of the match, I was basking that man's glory. That man is tremendous. He won me over that night. And what he's about to do in NXT is man, like he might not make the splash Adam Cole made of it, like initially, because Adam Cole is tailor made for WWE. But Keith Lee gonna kill it. Keith Lee gonna kill it.
Well, I got to give you credit because you are one of the people. I heard of him first from you, and you've been touting him for a while. So I don't know how often you say it online or in a column or in a tweet, but I know personally you and I talking, or even like we may have even talked about it on one of the SMCs before. Yeah, Keith Lee's kind of been your guy for a while, so I'll believe you. If you say he's on his way, then he's probably on his way. Just because the simple fact that it seems to be that trajectory seems to be exactly that. So we'll just have to see.
We had a draft we did with all the shows on Social Suplex, and we drafted Keith Lee.
Yeah, I remember that.
And mind you, just to give you an idea of people who weren't drafted, Minoru Suzuki was not drafted, but we drafted Keith Lee.
Yeah,
that's huge. But yeah. For the record, our first 2 picks were Tetsuya Naito and Roman Reigns. So, speaking of Tetsuya Naito, we have some New Japan stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
First, we get Backlash gets an hour. New Japan.
Hey, y'all listen to how fast I talk about this. Go ahead.
So rumors are that Jericho is supposed to make an appearance at one of the shows coming up and supposed to wrestle, because he. After Wrestle Kingdom, he ran in at New Year's Dash and attacked Naito. Right?
Yeah. I remember that.
Yes. Well, he's been saying he ain't gonna go back. They couldn't come to a deal, but the rumor is that he's supposed to do an angle to set up a match with Naito at Dominion.
Okay.
What you think, man? Because,
Okay,
Jericho.
that's awesome. I can't wait to see that happen. That's going to be great. All right, let's talk about the next topic. No, for real, that's cool. I like that Jericho is who Jericho is. You know what I mean? Like, he's got a good relationship with Vince, so the door's always open to come back and do stuff there. He showed up at number 50 in Saudi. And then he's moving back over to the JPW. Jericho at this point, and I'm fine with that. I think it's good for although he's packed on some pounds now. Boy, when I saw him at the Rumble, I was like, "What you been eating?"
He living like a rock star, bro. That rock star.
Yeah,
life.
he is. So that's cool though. They did set that up, so I mean it's good trying if they could get him to do it.
The only problem is that while Naito is still over as hell, they missed the mark. Naito should have won the championship. And I'm going to go to my grave. Say, bro, let me see Okada in the streets. Right? it's on site. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was joking.
Oh, God.
But no.
On site.
It's on site, bro. I'm riding for Naito and LIJ, okay?
That's
on
fair.
site.
I know you are. Oh, God.
So 2 major shows are coming up. First, we have the Cow Palace show. Well, no, let's say that for last. All In, right?
Yeah.
Tickets are going on sale May 13th. So
I can't go.
Well, I know that. You weren't gonna go anyway.
I would like to because a couple reasons. One, I like Chicago. I've been there just once and I enjoyed it when I was there. And 2, I just kind of want to see what all the hullabaloo is about. However, it's on September 1st, and that is my daughter's birthday, so I will not be there.
So hold on.
I will be at home.
So all I heard from that was you like Chicago. So you like Chicago, and you'll go to Chicago, but you won't even come to Houston to see your boy.
Well, who said I liked Houston?
You don't like Houston,
but
you like Chicago. And
I do.
With all respect to the big homie Simon Cotton, Chicago ain't Houston, big dog.
No, it's not. I'm not going to either place, though, so it doesn't matter. It's kind of irrelevant. And in fairness, I have been down there and hung out with you.
That's fair, but it wasn't by choice.
Yes, it was. I'm a grown-ass man.
No, I mean,
go do whatever.
What I mean is, you had to pick me up because I had your tickets.
That's true. I could have just gotten my ticket and left your ass.
Wasn't gonna happen. Not only did I have your tickets, but I had the hotel information in my name, so
that's true. I sleep in my car, man.
Straight country boy.
Find a truck stop shower, I'm good.
And the show New Japan's running in the Cow Palace, which is a very, very historical arena in San Francisco. Old as hell, but like everything happened back then. Tickets are already on sale, but they only sold 3,700 out of 10,000, and they're a little disappointed because I'm sure they expected more. But
when is the show supposed to take place?
In June or July.
Okay.
So a month or so away. The only problem with that is, I realize they're tremendously different companies, so you can't compare them the same. The only problem with that is New Japan never advertises matches ahead of time.
Right.
Like when WWE sells, say if they're selling a show in Houston in September, October, they're going to say, well, Braun Strowman's going to wrestle Roman Reigns at the show.
Right.
Cards subject to change. Something to give you an idea, right?
Of who, what, how.
Yeah. New Japan, hey, we got a show. And then like 2 weeks before the show, they'll start building the card.
Well, see, I think what they're kind of trying to do, I guess, is like, well, I just had a thought and kind of lost it. But like the way they do it, it's kind of weird because I think they're thinking that the interest in New Japan coming to the United States was going to be enough to get people to come. You know what I mean? Because they've just kind of started breaking into the United States and doing some stuff over in California.
Yeah.
And so they know that people in the States who watch it don't get a chance to see it live because it's always in Japan. So I think maybe the idea in their head was, oh, this will sell 10,000 like it's nothing because the interest is going to be there.
Well,
because we're never over here.
Here's the interesting
Similar
thing
to WWE being in Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? Like,
sure. But here's WWE's king, number one.
no, yeah,
Here's,
sure, but
the interesting thing about that is this. When they came to Long Beach 2 years ago,
yeah,
or last year,
Mm-hmm.
last year, they sold so fast that people were saying they were stupid for not running a bigger venue.
right,
This year, they ran a bigger venue, 45,000, and they sold so fast, people said they were stupid to run a bigger venue. They get a bigger venue, they're not selling out. That
right,
goes to show you that New Japan is the second biggest and second best company in the world. An amazing wrestling company. But this is America. It's a completely different experience, a completely different city, country, everything, right?
yeah,
So while wrestling fans know those guys, are they going to sell 10,000 seats? Which is in turn why the All In show could be so important. Because if All In sells out that day, 10,000 people, but New Japan don't sell out, that says a lot. Because we don't
yeah.
know the card for All In either.
No, we just know who's going to be there.
Yeah, but it's New Japan. You know who's going to be at a New Japan show. Naito,
Right, exactly.
Okada, Tanahashi,
See, I'll give
Suzuki.
one thing that All In is doing that New Japan isn't doing, even though we know who's going to be there. They at least and I know it's not that big of a deal, so I'm not trying to like reach for the stars here. Just like, but think about like something that at least they're playing around. It's like, who's going to be the next person to get booked for All In, right? We don't know.
That is fun,
and like Flip Gordon, for instance, has been trying to get booked, and they're even they play off that. You know what I mean? Like they've been playing off that. Like Chelsea Green got booked recently, and she made T-shirts that said "Book before
Flip."
Yeah, so I mean, they're like playing off some of those things and making it fun for everyone to kind of see who's going to be next.
Yes,
you know?
but also I feel like
I think New Japan takes itself so seriously.
truly,
That's the thing.
completely,
You know what I mean?
Completely agree.
And some of these other guys, like Cody, doesn't take himself so seriously, and the Young Bucks don't take themselves so seriously. Like, and I think that helps them to some degree.
So I guess it's like hot take number 7. I guess I feel like the thing about All In is the wrestling version of Woodstock, and what I mean by that is that Woodstock was not a corporately funded show, right? Woodstock was not run by your standard promoter or a music company. Woodstock was literally a show by a guy who loved music and wanted to have a show for the people.
Right.
And what is so interesting, and ultimately what I think is so not only daunting but drawing about All In, is there is no company behind it. They're literally booking whoever they want to book, who isn't contractually obligated, who can't be there, and they're doing it on their own dime. They're paying for it out of their own pocket. They're paying everybody out of their own pocket. All of this, right? So I feel like people will want to support that more than just another New Japan show or just another WWE show or another Ring of Honor show. This show can change the business.
So my question to you then, because the next time we talk is going to be right before the next time we do a pod, at least, is going to be right before the tickets for All In go on sale.
Look, okay, I'm putting it like this. Would I normally buy a ticket under my own volition? Well, I mean, you know, I can't buy a ticket right now. But, I would be interested in going. My interest isn't WrestleMania level or WWE level, but I'd be interested in going. But you know what would really interest me in going is if we could pod. If we go StarCast and pod.
Oh yeah,
that would make me say, hell yeah, I want to go.
I want to ask you this, and I don't want to. If you want to save it for next week, that's fine. But I don't really see the point.
Okay.
Do you think they're going to sell out quick?
Yeah.
Or do you think they're going to sell out at all?
Ooh, that one's tough.
All In. All In.
Yes.
Think they will sell out? Do you think they'll sell out?
I think that all the tickets that will be available for the first day will go. But no venue ever sells all the tickets the first day.
Right.
They sell them in groups, right?
Sure.
So I do think that May 13th, everything gonna go that they got.
Okay.
Do I think the show will be a full sellout in terms of 10,000 people? I do not know.
So yeah, think about it for a week, okay?
All right.
And think about it and get back to me next week when we pod. I want to talk about it because I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
Because I think one thing that's great about the whole concept, it's a great idea because, like you said before, they're paying everybody out of their own pocket. This is Cody and the Bucks. I mean, they're like, this is an opportunity for not only Cody to showcase himself again as a wrestler and as a performer, but as a promoter.
This is
what I mean?
This is the truest ode to Dusty Rhodes he could ever give.
Yeah, and I'm really I'm interested in it as well, and I'm sure I don't know if they have plans to put it on for people to watch it. I'm sure they will. I don't know all those plans yet. If that's been
so far, they've
ironed
said
out.
they're talking to people, but there is no concrete plan to not only there is no concrete plan to show it live, and they are not refusing sponsors. They want complete autonomy on this situation. So
yeah, we'll see. Because I hope they can. I hope they can, and I think they will find someone that'll allow them to show it live.
Fight TV will do
I
it.
really
Yeah,
do.
Somebody will do it. This question is, do they want it to be shown, or do they want it to be? And here's the thing. And Cody said this, and I commend him for this. The whole purpose of this isn't to make money. They care less about that. That's not the point. They want to make money, but that's not the point. This isn't to be successful. The point of this is to change the business. Because before this point, everything in wrestling had to be done by a promoter who had a company. These guys have no company, and they're not promoters. They're just wrestlers who want to give the best show. And I don't think New Japan will sell out the Cow Palace.
Doesn't sound like they will.
So that what that would mean is, all in notwithstanding, no company in America in the golden era since the territories ended would have sold out an arena over 10,000 people other than WWE and WCW. So Ring of Honor wasn't able to do it, ECW wasn't able to do it, TNA wasn't able to do it, all these other companies, New Japan wasn't able to do it. But if 3 guys could do it on their own, that is huge.
Yeah.
10,000 seats. That's huge. That's a genuine arena. It's a big deal.
I don't even know if they have to necessarily sell it completely out, but it would definitely be if they pulled it off. I'm rooting for them to pull it off, by the way. I want to see them do it.
They have to get to 10,000 in my mind.
Okay, that's fair.
They have to get to 10,000 because that's the number that changes your status.
Right.
You know, that's the number. So they have to get to 10,000. Ring of Honor showed that you could do more than 5,000. But Ring of Honor also did that on the biggest wrestling week of the year, where everybody there. Cody and Bucks are asking people to fly to Chicago specifically for this event. Right? There's no other wrestling shows that weekend. They got a fan Starcast, which is the day before, which is like a fan expo, and it's going to have podcasts and stuff. That's the day before. But this is like WrestleMania weekend, where you have Access Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Hall of Fame Friday, NXT Saturday, WrestleMania Sunday, Raw Monday, SmackDown Tuesday. Then all these other shows got Bloodsport on Thursday, and this on everybody there for the weekend. This ain't that. People are having to travel to Chicago for nothing else but this show, and that
show
is
in the beginning of September.
Yes.
You know, when there's a lot of young wrestling fans out there. A lot of those young wrestling fans may be in college, maybe in high school, so they may not be able, you know what I mean? So there's a even greater challenge there to convince your family or, you know, whatever, to say, hey, you down to take a break, you know, and do this? Like, I know we got obligations, but so it's not. I agree. Yeah, you might be right. I think maybe they do need to hit the 10,000. I'm rooting for them though. I'd like to see them do it.
I'm rooting for them. I'm a WWE guy, so of course I want WWE to be the best and be king. But it's okay. I want there to be I want wrestling to be healthy. You know.
Yeah.
And it's the healthiest it's ever been, and this I feel like will only make it healthier.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
So, and I like Cody Rhodes, by the way, too. That's the other thing. I've always kind of been a big Cody fan. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm good with Cody.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about my issue that I had with Cody in the past. We're good. We're past that.
Oh, so you're like Randy Orton now. We're cool.
And then I hit him with RKO out of nowhere.
You're right, yeah.
Plug your stuff, man.
At Outsider Curvin, Kervin.
Yes.
Is that right? I think that's right.
You don't know his own Twitter handle. Wow.
I'm telling you, man, I just don't. But yeah, that's where you'll find me tweeting. And I don't really have much else to plug for myself, man. I'm not doing much. I know you and I have been talking about some things, but I don't want to plug them until we get there.
Yes. Absolutely.
So yeah, we'll see about that.
So first,
there are things in the works. I'll just say that.
Indeed. Yeah, new stuff, new big stuff that is being worked on that I think you guys will enjoy. You will know more as I feel like we're gonna do the all in thing and just like tease y'all for like forever.
I'm down.
But you can find me at It's Ray Cash, REY as in Mysterio, CASH as in dollars. You can find the pod at Outsiders Edge SS. However, if the guy who owns the Outsiders Edge handle, if you listen to this, holler at me, please, because you ain't tweeting nothing. You follow one person, nobody follows you, and you never tweeted. Give me the handle, please. I also, oh, by the way, Social Suplex Podcast Network. Hey, follow us at Social Suplex. The network has been doing tremendous numbers. One Nation Radio at One Nation Radio, Ricky and Clive at Ricky and Clive, who I happen to guest on their show yesterday, so check that out. And the Wrestling Watch with Caleb at Wrestling Watch SS, and Keep It a Strong Style, the New Japan show. KI Strong Style. They got a new interview up. Check that out. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's a indie guy who has big things ahead of him. So check that out. They just dropped that this week. I also do a morning show every day with the big homie Jordan Fox, aka at Fox the Podcaster. We are sponsored by Imperial Wrestling Revolution, the company out of Ardmore, Oklahoma. So we are legit.
Ardmore.
Yeah. I don't know where that is, but okay. You can follow the podcast at World Class Pod. And Jordan and I just started our podcast is now a part of the Chairshot Radio Network, and Jordan and I will be writing weekly columns for the Chairshot. So I'm everywhere, dog.
Yeah, you're doing the thing.
I'm the Kevin Hart.
Shit.
I'm the Kevin Hart of wrestling. Like, well, not real wrestling, but you know what I mean. Like internet people.
Of the nerdy stuff.
Yeah. Dog, is that it?
I think so. Hopefully something good will happen at Backlash and we can shit on each other some more.
Nia and Alexa gonna have that 60-minute Broadway, bro.
Hey man,
It's I'm just joking. No, thank you guys for listening. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. If you hate us or if you love us, thank you for listening. Either way, we both of us are very, very open and welcoming to any type of feedback or response, anything. We'll talk to anybody. So by all means, hit us up.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, man.
Do it.
That's what this thing is about. But yeah, man. You got anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Nope. This is probably the last show because we had our big argument. So sorry.
And next week we'll be back with just a different name.
Yeah, the new name next week. Got to change it. Outsider's Edge has already got it's tarnished forever already. We got to change it.
So basically we're the TNA of podcasts.
Yeah. We Impact, Owl, Global Force, whatever.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great idea. No, seriously, that's it. Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. God bless.
Have you seen it real quick before we go? Have you seen the titles?
Yeah. Yes. I think. Yeah. I saw the new one with the owl. It's got the little owl on the. They're the worst.
Yeah. Well, people would say we're the worst. So.
That's true. That's fair.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks for listening.
All right. Take it easy.